There are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different. Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel. But there is also a different shovel. We use it when we come to the position. In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets. If a tank will pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier. We dig in the ground, deeper, and then connect the trenches with our friends to the left. In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread. A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire. If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again. And then we'll move on. And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the Army of Ukraine, our army.
A lot of people look at us as robots or just out doing a job, but everything we see and do affects us just like it does everybody else.
A lot of problems with first responders and veterans is that now we're in a battlefield that's very different.
I've lost more friends to suicide than I did in combat, and it really hurts.
When you push the human envelope to those maximum extents, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually, and then you pull that plug, nothing prepares you for the silence. Nothing prepares you for that void.
You can't come that close to death without it having some effect on you.
I'll never forget my wife telling me, you know, you're not the same Brett that I married.
What War Horses does is it puts you in that environment to, in essence, look in the mirror. But that mirror's that horse. And that horse is going to tell you where you're at.
You got to relax. You got to calm down. You got to slow your mind down and just think about this one thing, controlling that horse.
The first thing we do before we get on a horse, we breathe. Let go of everything. Let go of everything in your head. If I don't let go of everything, I cannot be present with the horse.
It's magic. I just started crying. It was the first time in my life that I literally let everything go.
Compassion, generosity, love, all of these things trickle back into what it is to be a human being.
It's completely changed me.
All the confidence I had lost, it started coming back working with these horses. They've given me my life back.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Have you ever done it so much you had to put your dick in the freezer?
Hey, what's going on? I'm back.
Surprise!
Surprise! I'm back. Welcome to Friday Night Freedom. On this 25th of March, broadcasting from the hangar now. That causes little setup. I'm just kidding. Still the same studio for me. It's still in the Mountain Complex except I am standing in for Cause tonight. And of course, I got the Pooks right here. And
fools.
Yeah, so fools. Oh man. Thank you guys for attending tonight's Friday Night Freedom tonight. You're kind of noticing that it is very Ukraine-centric tonight. If you go to all the posts that we have on that basically U.S. Army WTF moments, what was it? Freaking WTF Nation Radio, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebooks. You'll see the hashtag Slava Ukraini, and then you'll see www.stjavelin.com to get your St. Javelin swag. Of course, all proceeds going to the efforts and relief efforts in Ukraine, which our guest is going to be coming on. Chris is going to shoot the breeze with us. He'll be calling in later on. And yeah, I've never done a Friday Night Freedom show before, so I don't know how I'm supposed to act, Pookie. I don't want to piss off. I don't want to piss off Cause. You know what I mean? Cause is gonna be like,
oh, just roll with it.
Just roll with it.
Do it.
Right. It's funny because we're different time zones, and I have the sun still, lit up, and I'm like, north effect, and you already in effect still, it's still it's like dark already where you're at, and but anyways,
good old East Coast.
Yeah, good old East Coast. But anyways, thank you guys for hanging out. So, did you just real quick note? Did you listen to Orange Time last night? Did you?
I caught a little bit of it this afternoon because I didn't get to catch it because it was tied up with other things. But yeah, it was a pretty good show. I probably met him at one point in my time and don't remember.
Right, exactly. Weren't you a part of air defense for a minute there? Or you were in it?
Well, I was communications, but they always stick me in artillery units for some reason. I love just sticking me in artillery units. So I was with air defense at Bragg, and he said he was at Bragg. So I was like, all right, well, we probably bumped into one another.
No. He said he's swung by Bragg, but he's never been stationed at Bragg.
Okay, then I probably never met him then. Because he would have been a young buck private while I was.
Back at Bragg, yeah, exactly. So no, he. So I'm glad One Punch Dad came on here, shoots the breeze with us. A lot of talk about the ACFT and all that. So I just thought that was funny. That's just me because I'm a weirdo like that. Am I taking calls, Branko? I don't know. Do we take calls? Should we take calls? For Friday Night Freedom, well, you're the one that comes here the most on Fridays. Normally, I'm hanging out doing something else on Fridays, but
we take calls occasionally.
Yeah. So, what are you going to call about, Branko? Are you going to call about something that's what is it? You going to talk about clam chowder or what? What's the
race cars?
Race cars. Come on, Ice. It's a clam chowder, sponsored by WTF Nation Radio.
He was busting my balls early in the chat, so now I get to bust his balls live on chat.
Right.
So
why was he busting your balls on that, man?
I don't know.
What am I drinking? Sweet tea. Believe it or not, just sweet tea. I'm make my own, do your own. Get boiling water, 7 bags of Lipton iced tea, and then of course you pour it in there, and then you stir it up with some sugar, and then you pour the rest cold water inside, just like Mom used to make. So there you go.
Jameson.
Oh, you Jameson tonight. Get that chowder. That's right, Kevin. Get that chowder. Hey, appreciate you guys. I guess as soon as I said, hey, if you got something you want to shoot the breeze about, hit contact at WTFNationRadio.com for potential guests. And man, the inbox has been going pretty good. So much to the fact that when I'm trying to do some editing for the for our Twitch channel, it's like not even letting us. Wouldn't even let us do anything. Wouldn't even let us that's kind of messed up. Why would you? Why won't you let us get in our channel Twitch? We're trying to do stuff. We're trying to Twitch and twitching of excellence, and you won't let us Twitch it. Can I call?
Twitch is a fickle beast.
Yeah. Can I call? How? Can we talk? If I call, can we talk about how Avril Lavigne should be way more famous than she was? Bruh. You don't even have to say that. We know she should have been more famous than she was. That's not even a phone call discussion. Avril Lavigne should have been, way more famous. I don't know why what's the difference between way more famous and more famous? I mean, what's more famous? Kevin's drinking some whiskey and Yingling and some scotch. Okay. No bad, no bad. No, that's good. That's good. Over bourbon myself. Had some friends get me on some of that bourbon. It's not bad. Buffalo Trace, man.
That's the shit right there.
Yeah, dude. That's hey, you need to try that. Yeah, I mean, I mean, of course, then the occasional tecate on the special days and on Buffalo Wild Wings or Wings Night. So that's usually when.
I'm like with beer, it's usually Guinness for me. I love my Guinness and whiskey. I love whiskey, but the bottom tier of whiskey to me is Jameson. I think that's like
bottom tier whiskey.
Yes.
How is it bottom tier whiskey?
I mean, Jack Daniel's has its place, but I mean, if I'm drinking whiskey, it's got to be good stuff.
I hear you. If you have ever had, I talked to. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're getting some calls. Hang on, let me see. Let's see who this is. Better not get a toilet flush, man. Oh! What happened? Oh! Crap! Oh! What happened? WTF Nation Radio on the air.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Who's this?
This is Branko.
Bro, you're like, why are you being all low key and stuff? Why are you being all quiet? You hear that? That's like.
Like stalker breather.
Yeah, it's like. How's it going, guys?
I'm just being me.
You're like an angry.
Like I said, Ice could never really do the impersonation of me, right?
Ice could never do. Yeah, I can't. It's the thing with me to do an imitative voice that I would have to listen to that person a lot, be with hang out with that individual and get their mannerisms down, and then I'd be able to get that chowder. That's a creepy call, man.
No, far from it. I mean, I wasn't going to come out like you guys wanted me to.
Oh,
but
so
the reason why I wanted to call.
Go for it.
Is I've just been just real quick. Anybody in the veterans community could probably help because this is dealing with veterans. It's called the Veterans Association of Bristol County. I've been volunteering there for like 10 years, and we're falling on some hard times. So we're just shouting out here locally. And I'm trying to use all my channels to, get people involved on it. And I appreciate you allowing me to come on and talk about it real quick.
How about you have them hit up our inbox? We could talk to them, and then have them come on.
Have that done on Monday.
How does that sound on Monday? I mean, like
No, I said I'll have it done on Monday.
Oh, sound like you said we'll have them come on Monday. Dude, wait. We got a calendar set up and stuff like that. So, yeah. Have them contact at WTFNationRadio.com. Say, hey, look, Branko mentioned, and yeah, we can have them come on. You were all about veteran organizations coming on, dude. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well, trust me, we appreciate it up here, and I appreciate it. And, I love the fact that you guys have been there on those many nights when all I had was veterans to be with.
I hear you, man.
And you guys are a very important part of my life.
Well, we're glad we're here, brother. We're glad we're here. Well, we're glad we're here to help you out. How about that? You know what I mean? So.
No, hey, the more the merrier. Thank you.
All right, brother, man. Have a good one.
Bye. You too, buddy.
All right, man. Wow, that was the man. That was the nice.
It's in the fields.
That was a nice. Damn, that was a nice call, Branko. I'm going to start looking at his comments in the chats a little bit differently now. You know what I mean? I was being like,
he's changed a lot from the good old days where everything was caps, and now it's
yeah.
He's decent guy now.
Yeah. I was just about to say he's like,
I know,
just kind of a little bit, that's crazy. So Henry's got some news in there about some PFC hit and killed a lieutenant at JBLN. Is that released? Are you just like throwing out stuff like that before we even have it released yet?
Like that.
That's kind of
I like to do live searches.
Yeah, I say no. Go ahead, man. I hear you. I do the same thing. I got like 15 tabs up on my computer right now. On the.
I need more monitors. I was eyeballing a monitor today actually at Walmart. I was like, this monitor might.
Dude, have you seen Have you seen the new? I think it was a new Dell, and it was like a flat. I mean, it was a flat curve, and it was. I mean, long. It was. It literally curves. It's like a environmental. I always kind of scoffed at kind of curved monitors, but I'm telling you, man, I got one right now, and it's not bad, dude. I use my one monitor that I have to monitor the screens, and I have one monitor to monitor the OBS and the stream. And I'm telling you, man, it's that's why you always see I'm always looking up in a specific way. That way is exactly that. This monitor right here is the one that's got the OBS stream and all my little sound checks, and then that monitor down there, that's curved, and I'm able to, like, from the middle of the camera, because the camera's right there, and just off of that, I literally just it continue. I think about getting another one.
I had, like, my office before I got out of the Army. Like, my office desk had 6 monitor display on it. But I was doing some crazy crap.
I thought it was going to be different. I thought having a curve was like going to make my depth perception all weird, or make me get like trifocals or something like that. But that was just age. And I'm like, wow, dude, it's not bad. Yeah, see, Shelly says the same thing too. It's curved. Yeah, there's a curved TV. Well, I didn't know that.
I want a curved one for my main monitor, like right in front of me, like the one that I'm focused on all the time. But I don't care about the flat monitors everywhere else.
Yeah, I know. Just want to kind of get like another one. So, but anywho, thank you guys. A real quick call for Branko. Appreciate the call. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Let's kick off with some of the stories we have. Okay, so paralyzed man, he wakes up. First words in months after having a brain plant implanted, and the first thing he says is, "I want a beer."
That's my kind of man right there.
That's priorities right there, brother. Priorities.
I want a beer.
Right, I want a beer. That's like waking up. I mean, have you ever? I'll be honest with you. I have had. I don't know. You've had some medical moments, or you've had some incidences, and then the next thing you know, you like. Well, if I used to smoke, and so the first thing that happened when you like hit an injury or something like that, or. I've had several injuries, and first thing I asked for is a cigarette. So I guess you could say that's the same for I want a beer. I guess if you've been paralyzed for months and all of a sudden you're able to wake up from that, then good on you. So I mean, what can you not say? Give the man a freaking beer.
That's like my grandfather was telling me his brother. I guess he'd be like my great uncle at that point. He had Agent Orange from Vietnam, and he was like last stages of cancer and stuff like that. And the last thing he wanted was a cigarette. He was like, "I want a cigarette," and the nurses were like fighting him. My grandfather was like, "What's that gonna do? Take 2 seconds off his life at this point?"
Right.
Let the man have a cigarette.
You know, you bring up a good point, because in the story here that I'm looking at, God, it's like bright as hell. The guy has ALS, and so he how would you feel completely paralyzed from ALS, from Lou Gehrig's disease, and was unable to communicate for months, and even lost the ability to move his eyes, and then he used the brain implant to ask his caregivers for beer. So he was able to compose sentences at a rate of just 1 character per minute. And the man asked to listen to the band Tool loud, and then ordered some curry. A man who's now 36 had 2 square electrode arrays surgically implanted in his brain to facilitate communication in March 2019 after being locked in the state as a result from ALS. I lost my dad to ALS, so I know, like you said, man, it's you have a it like you just said, he wanted to smoke, and
give him a smoke.
Give him a smoke, exactly that. What are you gonna do? You can't really say anything. So people, if you guys don't know what ALS is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease. And then people suffering from the progressive neurodegenerative disease have a average life expectancy after diagnosis 2 to 5 years. However, they can live a lot longer, like Stephen Hawking's. He lived 55 years after his diagnosis, relying towards the end of his life on a communication device controlled by a single cheek muscle. And so...
Man could talk, though.
Oh my gosh, I know. He even had a cameo appearance on Star Trek: The Next Generation, playing poker with Data and other individuals. So, yeah, Henry. So why are you releasing that story, dude? Tell us and dropping that stuff in the comments, man.
Yeah, I was trying to look it up.
Yeah, it's not even released. There you go. See,
not verified.
It's not verified. Fake news. Oh, I'm just kidding. Unverified news. You got to be careful with that. So Dr. Jonas Zimmerman, senior neuroscientist at the Weiss Center, said that ours is the first study to achieve communication by someone who has no remaining voluntary movement, and hence this is the whole sole means of communication. Yeah, he was actually on Big Bang Theory too.
Big Bang Theory, yes.
Yeah. Study answers.
Zelda's balls.
Yeah, he was big time. He was even made fun of in family. He even has a parody character in Family Guy who has a wife the same way, and they both talk the same way. And so is it funny to, is that like kind of like drawing a line there when you start making fun of his mechanical voice? Is it like, I was like, dude, I don't know. Not like Alexa, right? But it's very monotone, robotic, computer synthesized.
Microsoft Sam.
Yeah, Microsoft or Speak and Spell. You know what I mean? Exactly. It'd be like a Speak and Spell going, and the Family Guy had a parody character of him, and so the study answers a long-standing question whether people with complete locked-in syndrome have lost all voluntary muscle control, including movement of eyes and mouth, and lose the ability of their brain to generate the commands for communication. So research at the Weiss Center for Bio and Neuroengineering in Geneva, Switzerland. I'm going to tell you what, man. Bio and neuroengineering, that's just whole new...
That's kind of like what Elon Musk is working on with that Neuralink.
Right.
There's a lot of promising stuff with that. And I was like, man, everyone's like, I would not want a chip in my brain. I was like, man, if I could type without having a...
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'd be down for it.
Not to mention the fact, or have a... can you imagine what you do for PTSD or something like that, or traumatic brain injury? Traumatic brain injury industry. Sorry, I saw industry there. Shelley says it's okay to make fun of it as long as it's made out of somebody's expense, but immediately if you start making fun of somebody, it's like there is no line. That was hilarious. Exactly. Don't make me hit you, Rush. Exactly. Damn it, Kevin! you busted the seal. Don't make me hit you. For veterans and stuff, I could see something like Neuralink for Tesla to do that for traumatic brain injury, especially for IED blast injuries or memory loss.
If you could help with my crappy ass memory, I'd be more than welcome to try it out.
Or migraines and heavy migraines. I mean, because when we were doing the sound check, and Bailey called and she talked about generation with next generation medicine and Western medicine. I'm like, damn, dude. I didn't even think about it. I did some research on some of that stuff, too, because, just like when we talk about CBD or THC, I know that's like taboo. It's almost like the military doesn't want to talk about that, or the VA doesn't want to talk about it.
The government doesn't want nothing to do with it.
Right. Well, like Shelley says right there, look, see, dropping all that knowledge right there, too, with the stem cells. Our friend Boone Cutler, he's got some stem cell treatment. Shout out to Boone. What's going on, man?
It's very promising treatment right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin,
I know a lot of people who have traveled overseas to get stem cell treatment. It's just crazy that they have to do that. But...
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's actually kind of sad. But yeah, dude, it's pretty. I always, when we talk about that stuff and talk about, when someone is basically going out of, I guess you would say, going out or fading out when they have ALS, their mind is completely conscious of what's happening. You are completely
It'd be the worst way to go out.
Right. So I felt sorry. I mean, it is my, when my dad was going through that stuff and he was wanting a cigarette, I'm like, I'm going to smoke a smoke with my dad. It was an experience to just watch a, dude, freaking 6'2", 6'3", 280 pound monster when I was growing up. You ever watch Yellowstone? And Rip?
Little bits and pieces of Yellowstone. I saw 1883, but I didn't watch Yellowstone.
1883 is good too. But my dad reminded me of one of the characters there. He was a big dude. And then ALS just completely just shriveled it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just so sad. So ALS, man. Yeah, exactly that. Carter says it's a complete mental hell. It is, man. So, hey, you give him a beer. You give the man a beer. Guy wants a beer. I mean, he's requested different kind of foods, though, to be fed through tubes and all this other stuff. But he's also been able to interact with his son and his wife, and say, give messages like that. That's incredible, dude. So yeah,
I was thinking exactly that, Shelly.
What's that? Yeah, exactly that. Like one, exactly. I saw that too.
Oof.
Yeah, it's dude's priorities, man. Right there, beer.
Give me some beer, damn it.
Yeah. Shelly's like dropping some comments about Yellowstone. Am I the only one that can't get into Yellowstone? It's a lifestyle thing, I guess, from individuals that live the ranch life, or something like that. It's almost like I guess you would say somebody called it Sons of Anarchy on horse or something like that, horseback or something like that.
I mean, I watched 1883 and I loved it.
Right,
and
dude.
It was like, you need to watch Yellowstone. I'm like, well, I'll get around to it when I get a chance.
Yeah. Now, I need to watch it all again. Who doesn't like that show? Yeah, it's a lifestyle thing too. So if you're used to growing up on ranches and you've had life on horseback and stuff like that, then it might be something for you to watch. I get it. Yeah, not big on new things. Some of this, I don't have cable, so it's kind of like whatever. So, but speaking of cable, have you been watching cable lately? Have you? Okay.
I've shunned off like the media.
Yeah, I
can't trust it anymore.
Yeah, dude, I went to. So I went home. I went home to visit my family out in the mountains out west. Okay, and I in California, and family's got TV, and I was like, okay, I haven't seen TV in a long time, and I swear, dude, every single late night show, the jokes that they were saying were so lame. As a matter of fact, it looked like they were regurgitating jokes that I see on Facebook, like old boomer memes or jokes. And and everybody was posting. It's almost like, it's funny. It's like boomers and old, everyone who thinks, old dad jokes is what it is. A comedian that everybody loves says it. It's not really a funny joke. And everyone's like laughing and clapping, all this other stuff. And then you see people on Twitter, because that's an animal and a half, regurgitate the same joke that was seen on the late night show that was taken from a Facebook meme. But I guess it's because the way they say it, or they're popular, it's freaking hilarious. It's gold. More likes and follows. Who stays up past 9? Somebody who's had their face smashed into a drop zone. That's who stays past 9.
I stay up to about 3 or 4.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude. Woo! I'm not, unless if I'm taking some herbal supplements to assist in my sleep with my migraines, then yeah, I.
If I'm not medicated, I ain't sleeping.
Right, dude. Yeah, I know, man. So I was just thinking it was funny how watching cable, watching TV news, it was like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, all the networks, and I was just like, as I was clicking, they were literally in sync. It was literally click, 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 and then like I haven't seen a Jimmy Fallon show or a Jimmy Kimmel show. I haven't seen one of them shows in forever. And then Jimmy Kimmel was talking. I'll say it, Jimmy Kimmel, and he was making some comments and making some jokes. And hey, thanks, Kevin. You're awesome. You make this awesome. We're not awesome. We're here for you. Whether there's 1 listener or 100 listeners or 1,000 listeners, we're here. But it was funny because I was like watching Jimmy Kimmel, and I was like, I saw that on Facebook. As a matter of fact, I think I saw Pooky share that. Pooky shared that meme, or you know, wait a minute, that other comedian said taxation is theft too, with some Pooky twang to it. You know what I mean? I was just like,
they're straight stealing my shit,
right, dude? These guys are as bad as Carlos Mencia. Is that too soon? Can we talk about that?
It's never too soon.
Never too soon.
Never too soon.
Oh man. So again, it was just funny watching late night TV and watching how it was totally different. It was not it was not like news. It was not like, and then we're talking about Ukraine. Every single news had a different map of what Ukraine looked like when it was, with Russia invading. And it was funny that you watched on one news channel and it looked like Russia had moved into Ukraine. You looked at another map on another news channel and you saw just little spots right here. You looked at another news channel and it was like half red, half Ukraine. It was just so skewed. And then you saw the different retired generals talking about it, and I'm like,
so I was watching McMaster's on General McMaster's on a morning show a couple days ago. He was talking about it. I was like, really now?
You know what? Yeah, you know what's really funny though, Pook, is that a lot of these guys that were sitting there lying to Congress and lying to the American people, saying that we're turning the corner in Afghanistan, are now providing insight on.
Right.
Just like, what are you guys talking about? You guys just lied to everybody about how Afghanistan was going. So almost 20 years of Infinity War, and now you want us to believe you about Ukraine.
That's like I don't know. My grandfather, I tried to like my grandfather's very, I'll say, Christian oriented man, so he doesn't like swearing and stuff like that. But I hear some things on the news sometimes when he's watching it, and I just like, what the start going off, and I don't know, that some of the things I've been seeing lately is just like, I'm confused. 2 years ago, people were so anti-gun, but now it's like, okay, well, weapons of war to civilians is a good thing now.
Right? Oh my God. No, the Ukrainian government, all you have to do is provide a passport, and you'll be issued a rifle with some ammunition, and you'll get a javelin. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Well, what?
Exactly. Like what the?
What did you just say? What I thought you just said? You just gonna give out a javelin and some freaking rifle and ammo? And these are the same individuals that said the whole reason why.
The plotting grandmas with AK-47s, like, it's just like, this is great. This grandma, this 87-year-old woman stacking bodies.
I know, exactly.
Okay.
Shelly says they even resurrected Petraeus, exactly.
Did they?
Dude, yeah, I saw him. As a matter of fact, I saw him. Now that you mentioned, like I said, I was only gone for like not even 5 days. How long was I gone for? I was gone for the whole week, but I was visiting family and stuff throughout that period of time, and the weekend before that I was in the mountains too. And oh my God, dude, I was like, is everyone really trusting these individuals? And then these are the same individuals that are also shitposting on each other on social media about how bad they were. So I'm like, dude.
It's like, I say this to my grandfather probably about like 3 times a week. It's like, I'm waiting to wake up and come around the corner, and like a little tiny wind up car like just comes rolling through the house, making a bunch of noise, and 50 clowns come popping out of it.
That's the U.S.
And I would believe that more than what I'm hearing on the news 99%. I'm like, oh, well.
What are you, Pookie? A biologist?
Apparently, I guess just make whatever up. It's just
Oh my God, yeah. So after seeing that, that's why I was asking you. I was kind of curious about watching cable and stuff. If you had TV,
we have it. My grandfather consumes it more than anything.
Right.
I do the TikTok now because I can filter what I'm seeing.
Right.
The propaganda is strong.
You ain't lying. So real quick on the propaganda stuff. I was talking with some of my former propaganda, colleagues, being the fact that I've worked in psychological operations and had to study enemy propaganda and, influence and messaging. What we found out is what Ivan is doing is Ivan is getting Arma 3 videos.
I saw that.
Posting that as Ukrainian videos to delegitimize Ukrainian posts. So these are Russian accounts acting like Ukrainians, posting fake videos. So that way people could say that, see, Ukrainians are posting fake shit. Even though they just lost another general.
Put up to 6 or 7 now? Or something?
They're like a 7, dude. They're going through more... Dude, they're going through more generals than, well, then what? I mean, they go through generals and
they're using like the OG Stalingrad tactic. Here's a rifle, here's ammo, go hit the lines.
Exactly. Russia's going through more generals than I go through wives, so. Sorry. You had to give me that look, Pookie. I saw that. You're like, what? Oh, man. So I was just...
Tell her not to touch the fire one time. That's hot. Don't play with that.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Russia's going through more general... Yeah, go ahead. Keep dropping the jokes, guys. That's funny. Dropping more... Russia's dropping more generals than more hookers than panties. Russian generals I was going through so many generals that mofos are getting promoted like crazy in Russia.
The poor private doesn't know how to start the tank or keep gas, and it's now a general. Like,
exactly.
What do I do?
Did you see
that?
Just
looting the store. Oh crap! Now I'm a general.
Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that colonel? They fragged a colonel. They like lit up a. They decided to freaking to kill one of the commanders. I guess. Yeah, exactly. I guess one of the commanders, motorized rifle. I don't even know, motorized rifle company or something like that. I was losing so many generals than the LT's lost on the land, of course. Ivan's going through more generals than while the E4 Mafia is sending in ranks. So apparently there was a Russian commander who got killed by one of his own troops.
But the blue on blue kind of shit? No?
Well, I don't know. What color would you say Ivan is? We say blue on blue. We say red is red, right? I mean, red on red? Red on red crime? Red on red.
I guess. But red versus blue?
Red, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, so the Russians lost a commander, too. Battalion commander, I think it was a brigade commander, colonel. Just decided to frag him out. So
just decided I'm not dealing with this and took his ass out.
Yeah, exactly. Decided to say, I'm done. I don't want to be... I'm tired of your toxic leadership. That's one way of getting rid of toxic leadership, I guess, Ivan style.
Huh? So I used to make fun of the Russian IT support, like, hey, is your computer jacked up? Yeah, take it outside and shoot it. Exactly. That's the way I used to.
Oh, happy Friday, Bailey. In Russia, OCS is no longer a requirement. It doesn't mean anything, though. Exactly. As a redhead, I am not about the red on red crap. Can we? Is it cool to say? Will we get zucked if we say gingers have no soul or something like that? Or is that still?
Well, I mean, South Park said it, so we should be able to get away with it.
I just want to say, can you say ginger? I mean, I've seen people use ginger as a term of affection, so I don't want to, or a term of endearment. I don't want to sit there and, harp too much on it.
I mean, if I spend enough time in the sun, my beard turns red. So, I mean, I'm half ginger, maybe. I don't know.
Carter says that they take souls. He's admitting a ginger fact.
We take souls. I see it.
Yeah. Did I copy this right? No, I did not. Yeah, I did. Okay.
Still trying to find that news article I was reading the other day, which brought me I was heated about it. That's an OPSEC thing, don't loose lips sink ships kind of thing.
Is it though?
But it was more along the lines of a Reddit post that wound up leading to. I can't find the article right now, and I don't know. This is the thing where it gets weird with the internet right now, is because you don't know if it's propaganda or, truth behind anything. But apparently someone posted a picture, a leaked picture of a Ukrainian soldier sending, and they through geolocation and metadata, the Russians were able to extrapolate where this specific soldier was at, and it was at a school somewhere.
I think that was. Honestly, I don't know if it was from the first time Russia invaded Ukraine or.
You see, I don't I'm trying to keep track of all this stuff, and it's so hard. At this point, I'm just kind of you know what? No, let me figure it out. If I can't research it, I'm not gonna process the information. But I was reading it the other night, and I was like, man, y'all especially I want to bring this to the audience. If you've got one of your crazy conspiracy theory friends that are out there recording, vehicles moving on roadways, you need to smack them in the face, because they're pretty much just giving intel to, not good people.
Right. Not to mention the fact that people are believing Alex Jones stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true.
He's been pretty quiet too about it. He's been pretty quiet about not talking about gay frogs and Jade Helm. Where's he been? Where has been Alex Jones been going?
Where's this other person? Where's Fauci been at?
Oh, he was on Fox News a couple days ago, or yesterday, day before yesterday, or something like that. I think he was talking to Neil Cavuto. Again, I don't watch. It wasn't until I got back, to home station that I was like, I don't watch that stuff. I don't know.
I don't like about the only news that I consume anymore is the Weather Channel. About it.
Or the Food Channel. The Food Network is pretty good too, because I like to hone my culinary skills, and I want to make some good pasta and chicken, or some veal parmesan. Is it PC to say you like veal? Is it going to be? Is that another thing? I don't know. There's so many things you can or cannot like or not like or dislike. I just want to make sure that. Speaking of the Freedom Convoy, what's up with that? Yeah, exactly. Comments talking about the Freedom Convoy. Did they do anything?
Yeah, they did actually. That's the crazy part about it. Is I was watching on the Chinese clock app. Is the best way to put it.
The Chinese clock app.
I call it the Chinese clock app. No, there was a big shutdown that happened probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where they had a kind of truckers convoy, and I was watching it live. So I mean, I prefer live stream over he said she said kind of shit.
Right.
But yeah, they had locked down 495 pretty bad actually at one point.
Yeah,
but that kind of fell under the radar because Ukraine's a little bit more important at this point.
Right, dude. Right. Yeah, coming to think of it, I didn't hear anything about that. I thought they were.
It's like magician hands thing. I tell people all the time, if the magician is doing this, watch this hand. Watch the hand that's not really doing anything. That's where you see the magician's tricks at that point. And that's what they've been throwing to us for the last 20 years now, 20 plus years now.
You're talking about you're talking more of a shell game as opposed to magician hands. Where's the doomsday clock sitting at right now? I think it was 6 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. Didn't they say it was
I haven't even. You know what?
As a matter of fact, yeah, let's look it up. Doomsday Clock. Let's see what we're looking at for the Doomsday Clock.
It's straight to wiki. I want the current.
Yeah, everyone's like Doomsday Clock. Where is it at right now? And what time is
It's
it?
100 seconds to midnight, and this is the last one I'm seeing here.
All right. 100 seconds to midnight. So that's the closest we've ever been to the Doomsday Clock. There we go. That means we're gonna get nuked. That means
2 minutes to midnight.
Yeah. Is that what that song comes from? Is that what that song's about?
That's an Iron Maiden song. Yeah, that's what.
Does it talk about the Doomsday Clock? I'm just thinking about that.
Yes, it is exactly what it's about.
Sorry, I love Iron Maiden. I'll go back. Didn't reset it because of daylight savings time, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny. Congress is acting faster on freaking daylight saving time than anything
Holy
else.
crap! They move so quick on that.
Yeah, they're.
It's like a unanimous vote. Yeah, we get rid of it. Yeah, we get rid of it. And then, like, what was it? The Arizona. She was like, "Yay, thank you."
Yeah, because Arizona doesn't follow daylight saving times. It's always the same.
Yeah, they confused the heck out of me. I was in Huachuca one time, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? Why are we a weird hour right now?
That's right, man. Eddie Corpse. Dun, 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 dun. Will we get zucked if we play some of this stuff? I want to play some Iron Maiden now, man. I do, man. I want to rock some Iron Maiden. Let me see. Get in trouble. We're gonna so get zucked before our guest comes on, man. He's gonna be like, "Hey, man, how come we got sucked?" I know, dude. I got that song on my head stuck. Let's see.
It's like that's one of the reasons why I picked up Steve Harris. Was like one of the reasons why I started playing bass when I was younger, because he was like one of the best bass players in the world, I think.
Yeah. It's great music. Oh, here we go. Someone just sent me this link. Thank you so much for the links. There we go. This is the instrumental version of Run to the Hills. So I figure if we're talking over the instrumental portion of it, I think we'll be good. So
do a sick mashup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Imagine you're rolling across the western desert in Iraq. You hear this blaring across this hillside, and there's me and my team with a loudspeaker. I play this shit too, man. Play Metallica, play freaking. God, man, I miss this shit. This should bring me back. Hell yeah.
It's like one of the things that used to blow my mind about the Iraqis is they love death metal for some reason, and I can't wrap my brain around it.
Dude, we had an IP police chief, and he wanted to hear Cannibal Corpse, and he wanted to hear Strapping Young Lad, and I'm like, what?
Okay.
Okay. Do you know what Cannibal Corpse is? Yes. We must listen to this. We must listen to.
That's how my terp was.
I'm like, okay. As soon as we gave him some sound files.
His playlist is better than my playlist.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, geez,
exactly. Would you play on speaker, please? Please, Mr. Ken, please play on speakers. Okay. So we played on our lounge truck. We're going to take a break right quick so we can get our guests set up and all that and get the pooks moved down below me. And that way we can rock and roll. So everyone stand by and shots. Let me do this. Let me do this break thing because I even have Friday Night Freedom's break set up. So, all right, hang on. So everyone, take a break. We'll be right back. Shouts.
Cock. It's Herbie Hancock. Yeah.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right, we're back. Back with our guest, Christian Borys. How you doing, man?
Good, man.
Good, man. How are you?
Outstanding. We're so glad to have you. I don't even know where to start. I'm honored that you would even great. I mean, you just like really started hitting it big with your efforts, and it's hard to get a large follower, I guess you would say, influencer, or I don't even know how to say it. My English isn't very good right now.
I've never thought of myself as an influencer at all.
All of this is a complete accident.
You know what I mean? It was never
planned or anything like that. So I don't know. I was just trying to do something to help, and it just
became this
crazy thing, right?
Yeah, I think what it is that most of it was, I guess you would say, the efforts were pretty quick. It was, I mean, literally we're just a month into the invasion of Ukraine, and it seemed like just in the actions, so much stuff has happened more than that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and like I think we were one of the first to be doing any sort of fundraising whatsoever, and that's just because I spent a lot of time there, so I knew what was about to happen just because of the people that I still talk to, telling me, pay attention to what the intel is saying, because the intel community was, sounding the alarm for a long time. So I guess I had a little bit of a jump start trying to do something to help out, and I think that's why it really took off. I know a lot of people are trying to start now, or have started in the past couple weeks, and it's there's a lot of projects now, right?
So well, I mean, let's start off with who you are. Tell us about yourself.
So I used to be a journalist. I spent 5 years working in Ukraine. So I went there in 2014, and I was working with the BBC, Vice News a lot. Vice News was becoming a big thing at that time. So like Simon Ostrovsky had the Russian roulette series, which really, I think it goes down as like one of the greatest pieces of war coverage ever. So I was there during all of that, and that's obviously what the impetus was for me to want to do this. But I spent 5 years. I came back to Canada in 2018, 2019. I started a marketing company, so I guess the crossover of me and then having the understanding of like what's going on in Ukraine, it just kind of clicked.
Did it at all? I mean, you have no military background, right?
No, none whatsoever. I just I've been to conflict just by being a journalist, but zero military background.
Wow. Did it did you attach yourself to any units? Did you attach yourself to any organizations that were on the ground, or were you sent by your specific media organizations at the time?
Oh yeah, I would just find units that would take you in, because back then you could link up with any volunteer units, right? It was super easy to get to the front line. Like I remember telling somebody that it was harder to get into Costco than to get into the front lines. They changed all that later on, because you had to have like the right accreditation and stuff like that. But at points in 2014, 2015, like you could get anywhere you wanted to. So there was a ton of different guys that I would go on like short embeds with and stuff like that. And then the Ukrainians opened up like formal embeds where you could embed with the military for like a week at a time.
Did they? How are they? I mean, receptive to you being a Canadian journalist, or being Canadian and journalist?
They love Canadians because Canada has a huge Ukrainian diaspora. So like my dad is Ukrainian. He's born in Poland, but he's Ukrainian background. So Canada's always been very supportive of Ukraine. So you go there as a Canadian and you're immediately kind of in, you know what I mean? Like you're welcomed, you're whatever. I went to Venezuela in 2017, and I didn't even go in as a Canadian. Like I went in on my Polish passport, pretending to be a tourist to do my reporting there, because I knew that if I showed my Canadian passport, like there's no way I'm getting in, right?
Right.
So in Ukraine it was the total opposite. It's like, you're Canadian, here, you know, completely embraced.
How did that? I mean, did I mean at the time before this was, you know, back your previous time there, did it, or maybe I should ask this: when was the last time you were there?
In Ukraine?
Correct.
I just came back from Poland. I was in Poland for 2 weeks on the border town, which is called Przemyśl. So that's the town that's basically all of the defensive aid that's coming into Ukraine is flying into an airport called Rzeszów. This is all like, you know, it's all written about, Army's public about it. And then the border town is called Przemyśl. So that's the first town that everybody that's evacuating Ukraine, they're going through that town, because the Ukrainian train goes from Lviv, stops in that town, and then from there you can take the Polish train to, you know, wherever you need to go, or get a car or whatnot.
Right.
So yeah, I was there last week. I didn't go into Ukraine, but the last time I was in Ukraine was I think right before COVID, like the December before COVID, 2020, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was 2020. I think
yeah.
2020. The COVID times are so blank. With
yeah,
them, so it's
like everything is a blur from that.
Right. So you get there. I mean, so basically anybody, pretty much, I would say anybody, but generally a foreigner. It would be easy for any foreigner to go into Ukraine from Poland.
Right now?
Correct.
Oh yeah. I think so. I mean, like, yeah. I don't think they're I don't think they're being like too strict on who can go in.
Gotcha.
If you're a male, I think the age is 18 to 65, you can't leave Ukraine unless you have 3 kids. Then you can get out. But yeah, getting out is a lot harder than getting in.
So if I were to drive up there and I were to make my way into Ukraine, would I get stopped leaving? Or they would?
No, because I'm assuming you have an American passport.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, you're able to get out. But any Ukrainian male is basically stuck in the country.
What are you hearing so far?
From them?
From them.
It depends. Well, in terms of like, first of all, everybody hates Russia now. That's one thing that completely changed. So when I was there was a lot of people who were still, I wouldn't say pro-Russian, but they were still like sympathetic to Russia. You know, they would still go to Russia and do business and stuff like that, despite what happened in 2014. But now, like the entire country is just unanimously against Russia. So the only thing Putin's really accomplished is just to make everybody like everybody in the country hates him, basically, right? And the further east you go, I was just talking to a buddy of mine who was there for a couple of weeks. He said he went to Kharkiv, which is the big city in the east that they've hit pretty relentlessly. He said everybody there just is so angry, and they never expected, like, we have, so my marketing company, we have a bunch of guys who work for us, and they live in Ukraine, and a couple of the guys, they live in that city. And even on the day of the invasion, I spoke to them, and they thought, you know, no chance this is happening. No, absolutely no chance. And they're Russian speakers, and pretty sympathetic to Russia. And now, like, their perception has completely changed. They feel like they're stabbed in the back, right?
Yeah, no doubt. everybody, just seeing the atrocities that are happening right now that you're seeing in the news, it's unreal. Have you seen any footage from any of your contacts there of what's been going on currently? Any new media that's come out?
Yeah, I see stuff all the time. Like, people send me stuff all the time. I'm on all sorts of like Telegram channels, just looking at what's going on. There's some really grisly shit on both military and civilian. Like, the city of Mariupol is just completely destroyed. You look at the videos from there, and it's like, it looks like Aleppo. It looks like Syria, right? It's stuff that you honestly never expected to see in Europe. And like, I don't know what the comparable of any European war since World War II would be. I guess the Balkans, but I was super young at that time, so I have no way of saying how that compares, really.
I would say it's I would say, looking at it as a kinetic operation, it's worse. You know what I mean? Because I would say worse on everything. I mean, just how we could say that it was a war worst. Is there a comparison? I don't know, but just from what I've seen and from what I guess you'd say my age, I'm a little older, on the older side. Yeah, I would say it's probably worse.
Well, just from like an equipment lost and lives lost perspective, right? I saw the tally. I think the conservative tally is that the Russians have lost 7,000 guys in a month, right?
Right.
And that's KIA. And then you have people who have actually been taken out of action, wounded, and rendered inoperable is around 40,000 total with KIA. Yeah. So they're talking like, and then there's a guy on Twitter who, there's a bunch of these guys, but they're the open source intelligence analysts, right? The OSINT guys who catalog every single piece of equipment that's been destroyed. There's I think today's tally puts it at 1,891 Russian vehicles have been destroyed, and then the Ukrainians have captured like they've netted an additional 60 Russian tanks so far. So they lost 50 or something, or 70, something like that, but they've captured another 140 or whatever it is. So Russia's actually become the biggest distributor of military hardware to the Ukrainians during the past month, which is fucking crazy, right?
Right. Somebody asked this question too, and it's like we would like to hear the ground truth, because it seems like the whole overarching big messaging from media, it's really either you're for it or you're against it. If you're for it, it's because he says something about denazification.
I just lost you a bit there.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. He was talking about, Putin's talking about going into Ukraine for denazification. Is anybody like really buying that shit down there?
Sorry, man. I lost you after you said Putin's talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess he's. You're breaking. I guess there's some feedback in the background. There we go. Is it gone now? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Was that you, Pookie, making all that noise? Give me a thumbs up if you were. No, that wasn't you? Okay. Now, I guess everyone's on the back. It's a hard question to ask, because it's not like you don't want to be sensitive to the situation, but it's his reason, Putin's reasons of going in there was to denazify the area, or to remove Nazis. What the hell? What's the ground truth saying? What's the why isn't that message from the ground coming out? Or do you think it is that it's not, that he's full of shit?
Well, I think that they tried to stage a lot of shit to make it seem like Ukraine was full of Nazis, right? There's guys in Azov's the battalion that they always refer to as Nazis, and Russia also has neo-Nazis, like probably higher. But yeah, I don't know. I think yesterday there was an article that came out that one of the Russian oligarchs was tasked with paying Ukrainians to put up like Nazi graffiti in different cities so that they could, show that Ukraine was full of Nazis, which is complete bullshit.
Right.
But they were trying to set the stage and justify what they were about to do, right?
No, I hear you. It's just frustrating to see that someone would even say that a country that has several World War II Holocaust memorials and is very
a Jewish president
and very, very anti-Nazi, that someone would use that as a fucking excuse, and somebody would support it. Somebody would say, "Yeah, that's why they're going in." I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, well, I don't know what goes on so what I've been told, what I've heard, is that Putin's circle became very much like his circle tightened a lot. So he got rid of X amount of people, and now it's a very small circle, and it's a very much like a Clash of Civilizations scenario in that circle, where they really see it as like an East versus West, right? And with his history and his family history and all that, I don't know. Maybe he genuinely believes what he's talking about, and maybe he really does think that Ukraine is full of Nazis, and somehow Zelensky's also a Nazi. I don't know what goes on in that guy's head, but he believed it enough to start a war, right? Or it was enough of a pretext. He thought people would buy it, but clearly it hasn't worked.
Right. He's a fanatical idiot, and the fact that it's almost like he's been QAnon or something like that, and it's really. Yeah. You're like, you got to be kidding me. You really believe in this shit, dude? This is what you really want. This is the angle you're running. I mean, it's costing him a lot, at any rate. So what have you heard so far about the humanitarian efforts that are going on right now, or the humanitarian situation?
Well, I saw that thing that came out today about the Red Cross trying to make a deal with the Russians, and then setting up like an office in Rostov, which would be where they would take these refugees from Mariupol, which is so crazy to me. But I know that the humanitarian effort is basically volunteers, and it was when I was there as well. Like the thing about the Ukrainians is that they've banded together ever since 2014 in such a unique way. Like, I've never seen a society come together so much. When I was there, one of the first stories I did was about this drone unit, and they were just a bunch of dudes who figured out how to build hobby drones and figured out that they were important to war, and now they're incorporated into, like, they're actually like a special reconnaissance unit of the Ukrainian military, and they just came up as volunteers, just as regular dudes, right? So I know that's not an example of the humanitarian effort, but that's literally what people have done. They've just stopped their lives. They've stopped being, IT workers or chefs or whatever it might be, and they've just put all their effort into the war effort. You read these stories about World War II, and you watch movies about all the way society came together, and it's happening there, right? It's just, we're seeing it in live time. It hasn't been romanticized in like a Hollywood movie yet, so it's kind of hard to like conceptualize the scale at which it's happening. But I was just talking to yesterday to a dude who stopped his business and started making tank barriers, like hedgehogs. So everybody's in on it, right?
Right.
I don't know. I haven't been there yet, so I don't know. I've only heard anecdotally about NGOs and what scale they're operating at. I know for a fact that at the border, at the western border, where all these refugees are coming out of, the NGOs are operating on the Polish side. They're reluctant to go in on the Ukrainian side. The Ukrainian side is a disaster there. But then you like, I went right up to the border, right up to the crossing at where you get into Ukraine, and then as you get into Poland, there's like paella. People are cooking pizzas. Like, you get across the border and you have literally like a line of like a food festival of options. But on the Ukrainian side, it's still a disaster for some reason. They don't have like tents. You know, it was February when this thing started, and people were freezing their asses off trying to for days at a time. Right. For context, like, I've been across that border 50 times in my life. Usually it would take you an hour or so. And on the 24th, when it started and people were trying to get out, by the 25th and 26th, the lineup was like 50 kilometers back. People were just abandoning their cars. People were walking. It was taking like 3 days to get across the border. So I know it's not at that level anymore because so many people have already got out, but it's still, it's still chaos, right?
Is any aid getting through at least into Ukraine?
Oh yeah. Aid or massive. I mean, the amount of aid is huge, and not just like humanitarian efforts, but also like defensive weapons. But I don't think they're. I mean, it can't get to certain cities, right? Like it can't get to Mariupol because it's besieged, so they can't get anything into those people. Apparently, those people are starving. They can't get water. Like those are the critical scenarios. Right. But to get aid into like Lviv or Western Ukraine or even to Kyiv now, there's tons of that going in.
God, that sucks. God, that's just plug. Just hearing about it and seeing it in the news. I mean, I followed some of your feeds too on Twitter, and it's just like, dude, it's incredible. So let's talk about this this effort that you have going on, and I'm going to show the audience. We posted a link and everything, by the way, on our Facebook posts and all our social media posts. And
awesome.
So St Javelin, tell us about St Javelin, man.
So St Javelin, it was already a pre-existing meme. I didn't design it. I just found it because a buddy of mine sent it to a group chat of ours, and he told us that he'd printed some stickers, and this was a while back. And then I just remembered about the meme, and then I thought, well, shit, I want to take that and make stickers of it in Toronto. And so I sent the meme to one of our marketing company designers, and I just asked them to remake it as a vector file so that I could send it to the print shop and get them to print stickers. You know, I never, like I said off the top, I never had any grand plan for any of this, but I posted the image on my Instagram, and I just said, hey, if anybody wants a sticker of this, shoot me a message, right? Got a bunch of messages right away, people saying like, yeah, I want it. So that night I made a super simple website and put it up in like 30 minutes. I just put up the picture of the sticker, and I put it up for $10. And we got 2 orders that night. I remember it was like $88 with taxes. And I was like, oh shit, you know, this is exciting. And then the next day I put up an Instagram post, and I just said, hey, all this money is going to go to Help Us Help, which is a registered Canadian charity that I've known for 20 years. I've known the family that has run that charity for a really long time. And like I've seen what they've done in Ukraine, right? Like I've seen it firsthand. So I trusted them. But that first full day, it did $1,000. And I remember looking at the orders as they were coming in, and, you know, I saw a lot of my friends ordering stuff like that. And then I started seeing names that I didn't know, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is pretty cool." And then the next day, it did 5,000, and that Instagram post, I saw in the insights that it was just getting shared like crazy, and I thought, "Oh, well, fuck!" Like I had ordered 100 stickers at that point, so I had to order another 1,000 right away, and then somebody from the media contacted, and then the next day it was another 5K, and it just did that until the day that Russia invaded on the 24th, and then it just like skyrocketed. It went crazy viral. So yeah, and now it's like, you know, people are sending me images from Ukraine. The Associated Press just posted a photo of St. Javelin at a checkpoint. It's crazy. Like, some dude sent me a picture from Finland. He climbed a TV tower in the middle of nowhere, and he's just got the St. Javelin flag. People from like Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, Taiwan, all over the world, people are just sending me images of St. Javelin stuff that they've ordered. It's a movement now, right? Like, it's a whole symbol of support.
I love it. I honestly, like I said, I'm a former PSYOP guy. We influence themes and symbols. Symbols are what help a lot in movements like this. And I just think that it's incredible that there's something that we have that everybody can. I mean, think about it. I mean, you guys basically took. It was an old meme of a cartel AK-47, gold-plated AK-47.
Yeah,
and it was replaced with the Javelin. So, dude, that's what that's. I'm not to sound like mainstream or use the same cheesy line, but that's what draws inspiration. You know, that's what draws it. I mean, to the point where we've even had back and forth. We've had drama queens on our pages when we post some of the stuff about the ghost of Kiev, the ghost.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It is nobody right now. Nobody right now could dispute. Nobody right now can say if the ghost exists or doesn't exist. and it's like, why would you shit on somebody's hope like that? Why would you?
I know.
Why would you even? I mean, it's almost like when we hear lead stuff in our, with our military. When you hear about feats of amazing leadership or feats of combat accomplishments, we never shit on somebody like that. We never like, wow, really? He really did do that? You always hear about somebody who had so many confirmed kills. We don't sit there and say, bullshit, that's just wrong. So the whole media outlook. I mean, we posted the alleged video, the first alleged video of the two jet fighters flying, and one of them alleged being the ghost of Kiev. We got so much shit for it. We were like, why you believe in that stuff? I'm like, what are you talking about? Why do you have proof of it being otherwise? I mean, there was talk of a Ukrainian fighter pilot just doming Russian fighter jets, and you're gonna were you there? I mean, do you have any proof? I just think it's crazy. Or the legend of the story of the Russian warship Go Fuck Yourself.
Yeah.
We heard it. We heard the recording. I mean,
and also for context, like, you got to remember that at the start, everybody thought Ukraine was just about to get annihilated in 2 days, right?
Right,
so
exactly.
Any one of those little stories of victory were so fucking important to morale, right? I think that's why people latched onto it, and they wanted to believe that this ghost of Kiev had 5 kills in a day or whatever, right? And yeah, it's probably ludicrous to believe it, but I mean, it was something to latch onto and something to hope for, because everybody thought that Ukraine was just going to get run over and destroyed in 2 days. Like, I have to admit, I did, because I looked at what they were up against, and still, like, look back at the matchup from the start, and you're talking about Russian equipment that's absolutely top of the line modern shit, right? Compared to Ukraine, their military has improved dramatically since 2014, but they don't have the equipment matchup that, they don't match up at all with Russia. And the fact that they still have planes and are able to put them in the sky is
right.
bewildering.
Yeah, exactly. We even had Russian trolls. We had to ban some people off of some of our social media because we had Russian trolls totally just jump in there and say that you guys are propagating, propaganda that you don't know what's talking about. And then we're coming to find out that Ivan is getting videos of computer simulations and then posting them, posing as Ukrainians to delegitimize any Ukrainian messaging. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. These guys are just like, ugh. What are you looking at now? How much so far have you donated to the cause so far?
$500,000. So we've done 1.4 in sales, and then our margins, I don't know, 50% or something like that. So we're at $500K donated now, and then I'm just trying to figure out ways to keep this thing going. So one thing that I'm actually gonna go over in the next couple weeks to Ukraine, because I want to start to get remnants of destroyed equipment and start to figure out a way to kind of build a logistics chain for people who want pieces of it as collectibles, right? And then use that money and just be able to sell that and fund the rebuild of Ukraine, because there's so much interesting destroyed equipment that you could piece and sell off, a T-90. You have all these different choppers and there's I posted a piece of a Su-34 that was shot down. All these crazy collectible items and patches and uniforms and all sorts of stuff that, Russia lost it in Ukraine, and let's use it to help with the rebuild, because what they've done is going to take decades to rebuild. Realistically, it's only been a month, but they destroyed a shitload of Ukrainian assets, buildings, lives, and it's going to take a ton of money to rebuild. So, what I'm doing is not the Marshall Plan, but every something that just keeps putting cash into Ukraine. I would love that to be my life's work, right?
No, I hear you. Give me a trackpad from a T-90. I would like a trackpad, please. And I also would like a piece of one of the helicopters, please. If you
can't imagine how much there is to piece through and be able to sell off as collectibles, right? And I know some people will think of it as kind of gross, but the reality is you can take that stuff and make a lot of money and put that money back into Ukraine.
Right. Has any right now? There's one that you just posted of a T-90 turret that got blown off. We're sharing posts up from the Instagram. Of the T-90 turret that got blown completely off and stuck perfectly like a lollipop into the ground.
Yeah. Somebody told me that should be the center of a roundabout in Cave.
Exactly. I would for real. Oh my God, yeah. Bidding starts at 100K.
Yeah. I mean, the question is, how do you get that stuff out, and how do you ship stuff around and whatnot? But for smaller things, we can make them into dog tags and stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's the meme of the war right now.
Right.
These
exactly.
tracks.
Do you think do you think at all? I guess some feedback. You have a.
Sorry, I think I lost you.
You got feedback.
There you go.
There you go. Do you have a train or something going on behind you?
No, it's just like a heater. Hold on, I'm gonna get out of here. Maybe I can get better reception in the room.
Oh, okay. It's a heater.
Is that better?
Yeah. I think that's what it was. Is the noise was kind of drowning you out a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. All right. Let us know when you get seated down, so that way we can put you back up. Well, still asking some of the questions here. Anyways, I got your website up still. The what was the name of the of the nonprofit that you're working with?
Help Us Help.
Say that again.
There
we
Can
go.
you guys hear me properly?
Yeah,
I know.
You were breaking up a little.
Terrible.
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit. So.
Okay. Yeah. It's called Help Us Help. It's a registered Canadian charity.
Okay. And then how many other charities have wanted to line up with you to do this effort too?
So I donated to a Ukrainian charity. I don't think they're actually like a registered charity yet, but it's a group of journalists who are raising money to be able to buy journalists like bulletproof vests and IFACs and stuff like that. So I donated a bunch of money to them. I'm donating a bunch of money to Risk, which is run by a guy named Sebastian Younger, who made a movie called Restrepo about Afghanistan.
Yep.
That won an Oscar. So Risk is I can't remember the acronym, but they're basically an organization that helps train journalists in combat first aid. So I did that course in New York a bunch of years ago, and Sebastian's just a good dude, and he lost one of his buddies, Tim Hetherington, in Libya. So after that, he made it his goal to train journalists on how to actually survive if they do get in a worst case scenario. So yeah, I put money to them, and I'm just trying to at this point, there's a bunch of people that have reached out, and looking at different ways that we might be able to use that money to help.
Who are your who are your obstacles? I mean, if there's anybody this is your moment to call anybody out that's been kind of like in your way. Is there anybody you'd like to I don't know, that's not helping?
Yeah, actually. So because everything took off so fast, we couldn't plan for how to run this logistically properly, right? Operationally, we had to hire a company to make our shirts and sweaters and all that stuff. So they do it from like 17 different warehouses around the world. Anyways, we became eligible for like their enterprise level discount very early on, like almost right away, because the numbers that we were doing. And unfortunately, they've decided to take the stance that they're not going to make that discount retroactive to the start of February. So basically, they're taking like $50K out of our pockets.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it's like we've put hundreds of thousands of dollars in their pockets, and they're refusing to give us a discount where they would be able to give us $50K back, just by virtue of how much money they've made off of us, which is a crazy amount of money. And that shit pisses me off. But other than that, no, honestly, nobody's been an obstacle. Everybody's been fantastic.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone's like dropping. Who are these? Do you want to drop specific names?
I will. I'm gonna tell the story of what that is. pretty soon.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. I didn't know if I was jumping the gun or something like that, but yeah, that is people profiting off of a tragedy when that's not necessary. You know what I mean? That's just ugh.
Well, I get that you have to make money, but the difference between you making, you know, 350,000 and 300,000, when you know that 50K is going to go to Ukraine while it's being bombed is a pretty gross thing to me.
Right. Yeah. I'm that's you said you had to do a talk. How many interviews and how many media appearances have you made so far?
I honestly have no idea. We did BBC a couple weeks ago or something like that, and that really pushed the needle. But we just started getting picked up by all these different publications because, like you said, every conflict, every war has symbols and how important they are, right? And it's an interesting story to write. St. Javelin in general and how people have latched onto it is an interesting story to write about. So there's been a bunch of interviews, but there's also just been a bunch of publications that have written about the story or the symbolism of St. Javelin. Like I saw it on France 24, and I definitely didn't talk to France 24.
Yeah. Oh, it's been in every military meme page ever. It's, as a matter of fact, a lot of our military members have used St. Javelin for their own anti-tank units, or some of their, blessed be to St. Javelin. You know what I mean? So yeah, they've latched onto it, man. This is to me symbol. Like I said, to me it's a hope thing. It's why would you want to? I keep going. The biggest one I see romanticized right now is St. Javelin and the Ghost of Kiev. Like you were saying, unless a Hollywood blockbuster movie were to come out with the legend of, I believe in it. And it's a belief thing, that's that morale thing that you got to keep going, or to have the people at least rally around. Because I've seen Ukrainians, memeing the same thing on other foreign sites. So yeah, go ahead.
I sent the working files, all of them that we have, to a bunch of buddies in Ukraine so that they could print stickers, and then I just want to see it all over Ukraine, right? So that Associated Press photo from today, that's just somebody who took the file and printed it themselves, and then I just told people, make stickers, put them up everywhere, right? It's good for morale, like you said. It's a symbol of support, and I think that's why people latched on right away. It was just like they were looking for some way to support Ukraine, and this is it's an interesting way to show your support, right?
Right, exactly. So tell us about your marketing company. When you sent me a link to your marketing company, and it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. That might be another show, by the way. Because of the work that you're doing. Can you tell us a little bit about your marketing company?
Yeah, I haven't done anything for it in about a month and a half now, but so we work with a lot of weed companies, a lot of cannabis companies. So we have clients in the States and Canada, stuff like nobody outside of that. But I started it while I was a journalist, not officially, but I started working with brands and companies because I just started getting reached out to, and people were saying, "Hey, can you write, a branded article?" Or I was directing documentaries, so it translates well to doing commercials and stuff like that, right? Especially if it's like a true to life commercial. For example, if it's a Patagonia and they want an actual branded documentary, like a Patagonia documentary, you could get into that, right? So that's how I started it, and then cannabis just became one avenue that we work in just because it was legalized in Canada, and a bunch of opportunities came our way because of that. So we we worked with a lot of cannabis companies, but we've also done a ton of other stuff like video campaigns, video productions, all sorts of stuff like that.
Oh no, you piqued my interest. Like I said, I might have to have you come back on for another session about that, because that's one of the things that we like to talk about too, is the use of cannabinoids and cannabis for treatment of PTSD and traumatic brain injury and pain management to to kind of stem the opioid crisis that we have here in the States.
So yeah, and like interestingly enough, I completely forgot about this, but in 2018, after it was legalized, there was a bunch of Ukrainian vets who came over. I'd met them while I was in Ukraine. We actually climbed Ukraine's tallest mountain together as part of a PTSD program, and I did a story about that with them. And that was actually run by this charity called Help Us Help. So anyways, in 2018, when cannabis was legalized, they came over to raise some funds from people in Canada for some of the PTSD programs that they were working on. And they reached out to me because they heard that I was, doing some stuff with cannabis companies. And I took them to a medical cannabis clinic so they could actually like see and learn for themselves some of the benefits of like CBD and stuff like that.
Right.
And then I sent over a bunch of CBD products to Poland, and then they brought them over into Ukraine. Like cannabis is super illegal in Ukraine. They think it's like heroin, right? It's the same like class of drug. But the soldiers right away, they understood it, and they like, especially because Ukrainian vets, there's a big drinking problem, right? There's like the stereotype of Ukrainians drinking vodka. With some of the shit that these guys saw in 2014, 2015, like they turned to the bottle, right? Because there was no good system for PTSD rehab in Ukraine, and drinking, it just becomes like the thing that you turn to. So them seeing that Canadian soldiers and American soldiers and vets were actually really open to cannabis and how it can help with PTSD rehab, they were super, super, super interested in that. And I used to be friends with an American woman who became the Minister of Health in Ukraine, and she was really, really, really pushing for cannabis PTSD rehab in Ukraine, but it ultimately it didn't get passed while she was there. But she was really, really trying to get it legalized, at least medically, for vets, just because it's like you guys have the opioid crisis, right? And in Ukraine, amongst vets, there's just a alcoholism crisis.
God, it's sad, man. That's maybe when this is all said and done, that maybe we can open up a pretty good dialogue between the three countries, and you know what I mean? Because at this point, they are like right now seeing some shit again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing that I try to explain to people. Like, you're seeing phase one of the war, right? There's going to be a whole other part of this where people, all the refugees, are going to want to come back. You have to try to make that happen somehow. All these guys that have seen combat and seen, you look at the visuals from this war and they're horrific, right? They've seen nightmarish shit for a month at this point, and they're going to need a lot of help to get over that for the rest of their lives, right? So, yeah, man, like I genuinely, I see how receptive Canadian and American vets are to cannabinoids. So I think it'd be an amazing thing for Ukrainians.
Gosh, I mean, it's not only will it help them out, but it'll help them with their assimilation too. It'll help them bring them back to, I was one of the, I was like, Kaz says, old people are holding this up. I was one of those conservative individuals that thought, bunch of weed snorters, it's a gateway drug to whatever, and
devil's lettuce.
They're devil's lettuce, and they're gonna, oh my God, and then now we're seeing the benefit, or I've experienced some of the benefits of some of the uses of for pain management, and I just couldn't see us. Why would we not? I mean, it'll change you. It'll like I said, maybe when this is all said and done, maybe there could be some sort of effort to change minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would hope so. I think there has to be, because it's like, I don't know. I get it. My parents, when they found out I smoked weed when I was 16, they wanted to like kick me out of the house because they thought it was like heroin, right? Because they're Eastern European. So it's just that mentality. That's
right.
Yeah.
Chris, thanks so much, man. This has been awesome. We have your links been thrown up in the chats and everything. We thank you again so much. It's been an honor for you to hang out with us tonight. And if there's anything you want to say to the audience, go ahead.
No, just thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. It was a great conversation.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna go on break. I gotta do some admin stuff with Chris, and then we'll be right back. So shots, and y'all have a good one. See you in a sec.
It's Herbie Hancock. Yeah.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Oh, and we're back, man. God, sorry, I gotta pump it. Oh wait, Cos just called. And we're back. The last portion of Friday Night Freedom with myself standing in for the Cosinator. Big Bad Cos. Cosamungus.
Cosamungus.
The Ayatollah of Cosamola.
Starting to sound like Robert Frank here, man.
Instead of Ebotep, Cosmotep. Oh wait, hang on. Oh shit. Shh. At ease. Is he gonna be on cams? I don't know. I put him in as a cam dude. So let's see if he's camming. Let's see if he's gonna cam up, or he's just talking. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Cos? How you been, man?
Oh, dude, thank you very much for substitute teaching for me.
Oh, dude, come on, man. It was an honor. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It is a good break to get away from talking about Army shit and other politics and crap.
You do your Monday edition, which is kind of news centric,
right?
But then you're kind of pigeonholed into your Thursday sergeant's time. It's got to be like a military related type of content,
right?
But tonight is kind of like a free for all. You can talk about whatever. So you talk about the guy who was paralyzed and asked for a beer with his brain.
Right, dude. That's like
how awesome is that?
Right. I mean, like I said, as I was just telling Pooks, as I have been a family member who suffered ALS. That's incredible. That's the biomed technology. I mean, if I could. I know certain people would get pissed off if I were to submit myself, like I always do, to medical experimentation. I like to have a couple of appendages taken off of me. Pookie. Pookie's like,
that third nipple is a real bitch, isn't
it? Well, it depends who's asking. Oh man,
Christian was the shit, man. That guy I'm so glad that he was able to be here, and I really think he's going to be back.
Oh yeah. I think not only is he going to be back, but there's some others that other discussion that we had about what he does for the cannabis industry and all that, dealing that.
I had no idea. I mean, I know he's a marketing guy. He's a not a public relations.
Yeah, it was he said
Black Hawk, I think is the name of his company.
Right. Yeah. I'll once we talk about it, then once we get him on, we might have him come back on and talk about the cannabis industry.
Because that's good stuff.
Because I know. Considering that
internet stalked him when I heard he was going to be the guest tonight.
Yeah,
LinkedIn is a great resource.
Yeah, everyone's like, wait a minute, and not to mention the fact that weed snorters is a gateway drug.
It doesn't treat me right, so I've tried it and I've done tried to do the sleep management or pain management thing, but dude, I've got high blood pressure, and the way that stuff, even the edible stuff, just kind of makes my heart just go da-dun, 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 so I'm like, ooh, I probably shouldn't do that, so I threw the rest of my edibles out.
No, because you were getting stoned, and you were just used to it getting stoned because you were so pure. That's what it is. And
no.
You just had to build a tolerance to it. It's like me and Pooks are taking like 25 milligram pops here,
I don't even know what it was.
I'm on my 200 milligram level. Sorry.
No, man. I feel like a pussy because the crap that I bought, because I went, I'm like, okay, inexperienced here. What do I do? What do you want it for? I'm like, okay, help me sleep. Okay, here's 10 milligrams. So they gave me these 10 milligram gummies, and I'm feeling like, okay, I'm going to drive across the Texas line, and I'm going to get pulled over, and I'm going to be in prison for like 10 years. And, so I made it home, and I've got this. I'm like, I'm an interstate drug person now, and so I'd eat a gummy and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool, this is fun, and I feel good, so I slept well. But man, it's just that process of eating the gummy, and then you wait like 18 fucking hours for it to take effect. Which
they have gummies now that are
like an hour.
They have gummies out there, brother, that are like 5, not even 5 to 8 minutes, and then you get the doom.
Maybe they've improved, and we're talking. It's been years. It's been probably 3 years since I've done it. So.
Well, I mean, it's not what it used to be back in the back in the day. That crap that everyone
was just kind of like trying to figure it out.
Right, exactly. And now it's a science. Now it's a
science,
bitch. Now it's a science, and now people are just like, oh gosh, it's not like what it used to be, man. When I was like, is this thing even happening? Am I supposed to be getting? I mean, I thought it was when I was a kid when I tried it way back in the day. I didn't even get it. Was I smoking it? Did I get anything? I got a head rush smoking a cigarette more than I got it. Like I said, maybe I did it wrong or something.
That old alley.
There was a time when Jay Reddy was doing his shows. I was traveling through Colorado up to Montana, and I stopped in Fort Collins is my stop from Dallas to Fort Collins, about 14-hour drive. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's got to be a dispensary here. So I'm Googling shit. I'm like, okay, cool, boom, map, app, and everything. Just go there. Got whatever gummies I wanted and stuff, and I get back to the hotel. I'm like, okay, and I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, here it is, here it comes, and it didn't show up. And then it's like, like an hour later, so I'm like halfway through Jay Reddy's show, and then all of a sudden, I felt the need to open up this bag of fucking Bugles, and I had like a 6-pack of beer and a bag of Bugles, and I drank like 2 beers, and I ate that entire fucking bag of Bugles.
Bro, who you telling?
It was like
I've eaten all Baby Ice's cereal, all of his chips, snacks, kids, goldfish, extra Parmesan cheddar goldfish. I had to go to the store the next day to restock on his stuff and then I tried to play Xbox with the guys earlier, and I'm like, bro.
I would like to get an Xbox just to hang out with you guys. I can't play games. I'm not a gamer, but I would just take a couple of edibles and just watch y'all just go to town.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. So even some of the old school listeners and the old school hosts. I mean, we played Xbox just a couple of weeks ago, and that's what I'm saying. I was like, I got to go to bed.
You guys still do Steam? You guys do Steam?
No.
Or you just stream the
well, we don't even stream it.
Xbox.
We don't even stream it now. It's more of a now we're just more online. We're shooting the shit and watching, laughing at each other. Getting slaughtered by freaking 12-year-old kids, calling us bitch, over the headset. I don't know why. I mean, you hear these kids talking, man, and I'm like, dude, if Facebook were to stream what these kids are saying on Xbox Live, bro, they'd be zucked. But it's no big deal. It's just.
So what you got to do is you got to record the experience. Listen here, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then you send it to their mom.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, they get mad when you make mom jokes too. They're pretty pissed off.
They take it literally, not.
Oh my God, yeah.
In a joking fashion.
What was that? A couple weeks ago, we were talking about that stuff. Some kid was on live, and he's like, "Oh, just like your mom or something like that." And I go, "Well, I don't know. Let me ask her." And they're like, "What? Where's your mom?" Your mom's
she
out,
right?
Left.
Yeah. She'll be home in a minute.
She'll be home in a minute. Miles of Cause is on audio. He just called in to check in on it, make sure that I didn't.
Oh, is my cam not working? I don't know. How do you work this stuff?
Your cam's not working.
I don't know.
That's why I thought you were just on audio.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Y'all supposed to be geniuses with this.
Background webcam settings. Webcam setting. Oh, look at that guy. Dude, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh no. Are you sure you didn't take no edibles? I have no idea what's going on.
No, I don't. I've had a couple of beers after I discovered I've had a termite infestation, which is dormant, which is not an active infestation, but I've got damage.
Ooh, damn.
Oh yeah, tell us about that. You were going through some remodels. So what happened? Can we give us an update, or are you gonna wait for the
yeah, and the reason I'm not on tonight is because I wanted to dedicate a couple of weeks to finishing the backside of my house.
Right.
So I spent this last week, rather than focusing, when I get home from work, I usually focus on grabbing news stories and reading the news and understanding the politics. That's what's happening.
Right.
I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to change my mindset to finish, doing housework, construction type stuff.
No, I hear you.
So I've done that, and I've made some great progress. I've spent a fuck ton of money and had stuff delivered to the house. I got like a bathroom vanity and a toilet and all this other cool stuff. So I'm doing the deconstruction in my bathroom, which was supposed to be completed tonight. And I took down a wall, and it exposed the entire, probably 5 feet from the ground, from the where your feet stand, up to 5 feet is just completely ate up with termite stuff.
Oh man!
And that's where I left tonight. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm drinking beers with Christian and Ice and Pooky.
Well, I appreciate it, man, because it was. I was like, I saw some pics in the. And I was like, man, I'm looking at the pictures right now, and it's like, woof. You say it's not dormant, so is it going to be?
It's a dormant infestation, but the wood that you see is compromised. So I'm going to have to. I need to have a third party come in and say, okay, this is structurally sound, or it's not structurally sound.
Is it okay? Is it okay if I get the audience to see what wood?
Oh, do it. Go ahead.
Can I show the audience your wood?
Show them my wood, baby.
Oh, okay. Woo woo. Hang on, let me. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cause's wood. The Causamungus is wood. Oh, hang
folks didn't know I'm not the sound engineer. I am a host. I'm just I'm on hiatus right now. I'll be back next week. April 1st. April 1st is when the show is going to return.
April Fools.
April Fools, huh? Yeah. You're April Fools. Are you just saying that just to say it?
No, it's actually going to happen. I promise. Okay. Isn't that when ACFT is coming back? Or
yeah, baby, that's when the ACFT starts, man. The testing. let me show you real quick. Let me show you Cause's wood. Damn, that's some damaged wood there.
And it's dormant, and you can tell that it's dormant. But the 2x4s there that are stacked up are brittle, and I can just pick them off with my fingers. So. So all that stuff, and you're seeing that. I kind of did that to the insulation over there on the left. But all that stuff, all that wood on the left, those vertical 2x4s are compromised.
Yeah, it looks it, man.
Termite stuff.
Yeah, it looks it. The audience is already making their comments. All the dads in the freaking chats right now are going, damn. Even my man Heath, is that morning wood?
Cause. Just scab it.
Yeah.
Just scab it. That's the outside of my house. It's an outside wall, and
just scab it.
I can half-ass it and get away with it. But I'm not going to, because that's how I am. You can't just half-ass this stuff.
Oh no, especially that.
So
I mean, definitely. Is that wall supporting a support? That's a supporting piece right there, right?
Yeah, it's an outside wall. It's a supporting wall. Those joists are 15 inches away from each other, and that stack up is above all this stuff. There's a window which is probably 2 feet long and 8 or 10 inches high. So that's like at the top of my shower. So this is probably from 5 feet and below.
Wow.
And then all that stuff you see on the bottom, that's my tub.
Yeah. Pip just said it looks like some shit here in the Villages on Fort Hood.
Fort
Hood housing.
That insulation probably has not seen the light of day since 1984.
Oh wow! You can build something on the outside. You're gonna like extend it. You can just knock that wall down and just build something on the outside.
No, because this is a duplex, so there's not really much room.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
This is my yard side of my house, so I could,
yeah.
But I've got like maybe 8 or 10 feet until the fence line. It's really, there's not a lot of space.
This epic window view for your tub while you're taking a bath.
Say, yeah, you can make one of those those windows, that smoke out for privacy, and you could use that.
Or just like not even smoke it out. Just say, hey, here, look at my penis. I'm taking a fucking bath.
I don't know what you're talking about, cause I'm not a biologist. But anyways, that was pretty messed up.
I don't know what this thing is between my legs that he comes out of.
I'm not an engineer.
Man.
I am an engineer, but I don't know what this fucking thing is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Oh, dude, that sucks, man. So are you gonna get a third party to come do this, just to come out and just say?
I am, because I can make my own decision, but that's probably going to be wrong. So I'm gonna have someone else come in that knows what they're talking about.
Man, brother, gosh.
Oof. So what do we got coming up this week?
Man. So this week we got some. You guys.
You had One Punch Dad. Oh my gosh,
yeah, dude.
That guy is. I'm very proud of the E4 Mafia for getting this guy out of the E4 Mafia and making him an officer. I'm really glad he stuck to it, because he could have got out. He could have got out.
Yeah.
He's the Cabal. Is that a Cabal? No, Consortium.
Consortium.
What is the?
I don't know.
Officer?
Yeah.
I think all E4s that are legit E4 become warrant officers.
E4, yeah. E4 Mafia is I guess you just say E4 Mafia, but then if you say, what would you call a warrant? Is that part of a consortium, like you said, or a syndicate? Warrant Officer Syndicate.
The Warrant Officer Syndicate. No, he had a name. I mean, the Warrant Officer Corps, the officer.
Oh, he had cohort. He said cohort.
Cohort.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, he said
that's the official name, but it's really a syndicate.
It really is. Yeah, it's they don't seem to like go to formations or something like that. One Punch Dad seems to be like the only guy that wants to not do warrant stuff. he wants
but he does. He really embraces the opportunity to make shit better.
Right, exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. Well, we got next week. We got freaking Monday. I think open. My calendar's opening up because I'm back from spring break and I'm back from all my stuff, and so my calendar's opening up. But CQ's got two hosts this Tuesday and next Tuesday. He's got Rich Chang. He's that actor, entertainment, comedian. He like got into the entertainment industry after being like going to law school and getting an MBA and decided to like, I'm out of here. Yale sucks. I guess.
Okay.
He'd want to use that Yale education.
As a parent, and Ice, I think you can attest to this. You're going to spend $100,000 or $150,000 or $200,000 helping your child get educated. Oh, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna scrape for fucking crumbs because I want to be an actor.
Yeah, but
that's hard,
dude. Could you imagine though? Think about it. If your kid went through all that stuff, and you were like busting your ass working, and all of a sudden they go, yeah, all right, and you're like, you're bragging. My kid's an actor.
I'm going to be in a sitcom.
Exactly. My kid.
Oh, what?
My kid's acting. My kid's an actor. Wait, didn't you just send your kid to freaking Yale? Well,
Yeah, I did, but we're not going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah, it's like a dinner table discussion that you don't want to talk about.
Get me a beer.
Yeah, and then he's got Shayam Sobian coming on, best known for playing Barad Tarazi on the DC's Legend of Tomorrow. Man, he's been getting all these DC characters. Got Breck Bessinger.
Well, he's got to spread that out because he's really Marvel heavy.
Yes,
so he's got to spread that out with the DC stuff.
Right.
And that's why he had, Breck, not Beckinsale.
No, Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, dude, he had Kate Beck. You mean Breck Beckinsale? God, you got me messed up. Breck Bessinger.
Breck Basinger. Thank you for setting my mind straight. What I love about her is she's a Texas girl, and she's making it work.
Right. Exactly.
That was a great interview.
It was.
It was a fun. It put me in a better mood. It really, just hearing her talk about the way that she loves her job, I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yep, exactly. DC and Marvel, though, centric. I think what it is that the DC side of the house and the Marvel side of the house, I don't know, it just seems more, DC seems more darker. It just seems like it's a more darker, more, not really darker, but it's more thought-provoking. You know what I mean? DC.
When I see a DC show, I think it's not as well produced as a Marvel production.
Well, that's because they have the power of the mouse behind them. That's why. That's why the Marvel. Marvel stuff.
DC animation is way better than Marvel animation. I will say that
really?
right off.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, because I'm really in love with Marvel stuff, but then I see DC, I'm like,
live action, though. However, Marvel's live action is on point. DC's animation is on point. So that's where they split up.
Yeah, I like the thought-provoking stuff, anyways, from DC. That kind of in your mind type thing to a little bit of a.
The Joker's the Last Joke. Batman: The Last Joke was probably one of the best Batman series I've ever seen.
The Killing Joke, I think that's what you're talking about.
The Killing Joke, yes, exactly.
That one, and let's see, Dark Knight, the Dark Knight from Frank Moore, the comics and animation, his stuff. I mean, I know it's not Pop Culture Warrior, but I am a comic freak when it comes to that stuff. No, Frank Moore stuff is awesome. It's on point. And, the Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One. All those comics, I think I still got them in the garage somewhere. Awesome comics, the originals, the ones from Dark Horse Comics back in the day. But anyways, yeah, so that's what's going on. He's got those two guests, and then we have our calendar. My calendar's opening up. Your calendar's opening back up once everyone's back from everything else. So,
CQ sent me some referrals. I need to open up my fucking email. I really do. I haven't checked it since I was like, okay, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. I haven't checked my email since because I don't want to have that distraction.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to open that up as soon as we're off the phone here.
Yep. But other than that, thanks again, Cos, for letting me hang out. Somebody's calling up. Gosh, we're going to have a...
answer.
Let me see who it is. Yeah, hang on. Let's see who this is.
Maybe it'll kick me off. WTF Nation, you're on the air. Oh, wait, I'm not the host. Don't pay attention to me.
Oh, wait, no, that's a voicemail.
Oh, we get great voicemails.
Oh, my God. The conspiracy theory ones are hilarious. I almost feel like freaking...
Can I send you... Okay, you know who the other cause is, right? I haven't blocked him yet on Facebook. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes, the fake cause.
That one.
Yeah. Would it upset you if I forwarded you? And this is kind of like we should say this in a staff meeting or something. Can I send you some of this shit? Oh my God!
I've seen it, dude. That's how I got it. That's how I knew about this fake cause.
Holy fuck!
We have cause and we have Bizarro cause.
Bizarro cause using my Kicking It With Cause logo.
Yeah, Kicking It With Cause logo. Hang on, let's see. Okay, so we're getting this phone call back again. Let me see if I can get this other. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air.
So it wasn't a voicemail. I didn't leave a voicemail. Did you guys see the picture of Biden with eating the piece of pizza?
In Poland?
In Poland, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the actual picture, though?
No.
I haven't. I've seen different versions of it. I've seen the small one where he's close up and he's laughing with the troops eating pizza.
You gotta look at the picture. Oh my gosh. It looks like this guy is literally in pain eating a piece of pizza.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. Pizza Biden.
Okay.
Let me look it up. Wait, is it if you type in Pizza Biden, freaking something else happens or something like that? You get in trouble for...
No, it's not like that.
You get
no, I didn't Google that. This is just like he's eating like at a chow hall.
Gotcha. Okay, I see that. Yeah, I think someone else just got me the clip. Hang on. Cool. Let me pull that up.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh, he's like trying to smile and laugh and talk.
Hang on.
At the same time.
Like, what does he look like? Why does he look like he's in pain?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me.
A piece of pizza.
Let me grab this right here. This is hilarious.
It's only pepperoni.
Well, I'm not telling you what right now. Not to rag on the Prez, but it's DFAC pizza. Come on.
No, It must have been pizza by Alfredo.
From
the office.
Yeah.
Must have been pizza from Alfredo.
Yeah, really. Hang on, let me get this up here so y'all can see this.
This is funny, dude. That's horrible. That's a.
There we go.
Okay. Now, in his defense, in the president's defense, the camera takes that is what you see.
Oh my gosh.
But everybody else around him is the guy next to him and the guys behind him, the E4s behind him are going, dude, it's pizza. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing about it is my sister that lives in California, she said, oh, maybe he just got some really sad news, about all these extra troops that were deployed to Slovakia and all this stuff. And I said, I don't think so, because I went to the USAG Vicenza.
Their website.
Biden actually says, "Oh, the 82nd Airborne's coming to Ukraine," and then it's like the Defense Department's like, "Hold on a fucking minute here, slow your roll, sir."
Exactly.
He literally looks like he's in pain.
Yeah, here's another one. This is the one where the Joes are going, "What the hell?" Now look, I bet you if these Joes these Joes right here are looking. I mean, look at these Joes' face. Look at Sergeant's face. So I'm going to zoom this in. So you got this one picture right here. This guy's
that's the one.
That's the guy looking like, what the hell is that? And then you look back and look at these Joes right here in the background. Now, do you think these Joes are going to get in trouble for making these faces? Look at that. What's up with that kid on the left's haircut? I'm just saying. But it's I'm
Sorry, I just thought that you guys had to know about this.
There's jalapenos on that.
Yeah,
that's why he's making that. There's
a jalapeno.
Yep.
Chilling right at the corner of his lip.
That's probably why I didn't even see that.
Yep.
Probably the jalapenos.
It's the jalapenos, man. Oh, look at that! Look at old POTUS right there. I'm telling you, this kid right here. I'm gonna zoom him into this one kid right here. The kid here on the left, man. Look on the right side.
We got memes coming.
We got this kid right. Like what the?
Some of them are like, "That's jalapenos." Yeah, right, man. That's chow.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, what the hell is this?
He doesn't even. Okay, what I'm going to complain about is there's no Texas Pete on that table right there.
It's Poland, dude. Pete? It's Poland, dude. I don't even know. You know
what? The reason why they're looking like that is because they ate some shitty ass DFAC food, and the president had pizza brought out to them.
Right, that's probably it. The E4 Mafia scouts are looking at going, "We need to gank his pizza." Where do you get that pizza from?
You're like, oh my gosh, he's got pizza.
Right.
We had Salisbury steak.
This dude's got Papa John's. We're eating freaking surf and turf. What the heck is going on?
Oh man! All right, caller. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one. Have a good weekend.
Bye. You too.
Oh man. So again, that's what's happening. That's what's going on. Our calendars are getting cleared. We're gonna start having some shows. We might have some short notice shows coming up. So, share, like, and follow both of our WTF Nation Radio. So if you go onto our Facebook page, you also see contact at WTFNationRadio.com, or you can also go to WTFNationRadio.com and look at the links. You'll see our new page getting redesigned.
Okay, let's talk about that just for a second. I'm not going to take up a whole lot of your time.
Okay.
Much of my day is spent working and building things and doing stuff. And what I do is I have a speaker set, a Bose speaker set, and I'll stream whatever WTF Nation Radio is playing. And that was unceremoniously cut off.
Yeah.
A week or 10 days ago, and I was really sad.
It's
because
coming
then
back.
I'm relegated to my crappy playlist.
It's coming back, man. It's that way. It's good. What's more likely is going to happen is that we're going to see, because the old tech before is just had to get updated, and that old tech, in order to update it, it crashed. It crashed the page. It crashed all the infrastructure part of it. So we have to rebuild it. It's got to get rebuilt. And then once it gets rebuilt, then we're going to kick around maybe of having a live, and then playing something off of a random thing off of one of the shows, off one of the platforms. But And
because we always had music was always playing, and then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, at my time in Texas here, there was like a show, a random show.
It was the Daily Rewind.
The Daily Rewind was always there, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is just like, I'm working all day, and the day just goes by so quickly, and it just disappeared, and I'm very sad.
Okay, Kaz, we got it, bro. we'll put the fucker back. Not fast, but it's getting built. It's getting designed.
These things take time. I totally get it. I really get it.
All right, brother, man. I'll talk to you later. We're gonna shut off. So,
all right, great show.
Thanks.
Thank you, Christian, for being here.
All right,
you
brother.
do great things.
All right, Kaz, take it easy. Have a good weekend. All right, so that's it for us. We're gonna go ahead and punch out a Friday Night Freedom, and that was pretty fun. Pooks, what do you think? Did you like that stuff?
That was a fun show.
Yeah,
that was a fun show.
Well, not bad at all. Yeah, not bad.
Managed to get almost like a 3-hour show in.
Almost, man. I know. What's up with that? We need to, dude. We're out of control. Wait, you're getting all out. All crazy again. There you go. Let me put your lovely screen face on there back again. But anyways, so we're gonna get going. Share, like, and follow. Go ahead and again, WTFNation.com. Look at all the links on the bottom. Contact us if you want to get some new music. Get us some new music, unlicensed music that won't get us in trouble. And we hope that you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget to tune into the Monday edition with myself. And then we got Mom coming back. Hopefully, Mom's doing better. If not, we're gonna have Shipwreck with us. Well, I mean, Mom is doing better. It's just if she's up to it. And then, of course, Pop Culture Warrior, Sergeant's Time, and then, coming right back to the Friday Night Freedom. This is fun. We didn't even. The thing was, we didn't even get most of the stories that we were talking about, like male birth control. Like we were talking about that. We were going to talk about male birth control, but we had just got to go. So everyone, go back to the cave. Back on your heads. Everyone have a good night. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And then again, shouts. Have a good one.
Nothing feels the Я батько.
Я молодший брат.
Я водій маршрутки.
Я скоро одружуся.
Я фанат шахтера.
Начальник отдела продаж.
Я прораб.
Я программист. Я свидетель на свадьбе.
Дядя Юра, таксист. Я вчитель фізкультури.
Я студент-геолог.
У мене своя фірма. Я кращий друг зі школи. Я сусід, який завжди стукає по батареї.
Я єдиний син.
Сьогодні ти знову написала, що тобі страшно. І я знову попрошу. Ні, сьогодні я накажу відставити боятись. Погладь за мене Бармалея і спокійно лягай спати. До речі, як там Руся в школі? Скажи тату берегти серце і обійняти маму. І взагалі, давайте усміхатися. Вашій силі краса. Допомагайте один одному і виручайте. Цілуйте любимих. Святкуйте свою свободу. Ви за нашими спинами, ось такі теж надійні, не ховаєтеся, прикриваєте нас із тилу. Зробіть так, щоб ми пишалися вами. І ми повернемось. Повернемось і будемо жити.